go to open homes, like $1,000
cover, which is yung
ang maipapayo.
And what is the implication?
so with kayang
This thing and this thing, hindi talaga siya binayad. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Home Buying Tips. It's actually episode 56 already, and I welcome you once again to our a year-long podcast already about home buying here in New Zealand. So I really hope you've been learning a lot. If you've been following our page and our YouTube channel, you can see our playlist there of the home buying tips in New Zealand. And it's not just about buying tips anyway, it's building your confidence to be able to buy whatever you like. So we've talked about many things under the sun, like saving tips, looking after your property. So many topics that I could not even remember all of them. But of course, we have invited so many guests as well, like the mortgage brokers, ANZ mortgage advisors, and real estate, because I'm doing this podcast with Marianne. And hopefully Marianne will be able to catch up with us. She's just on her way back home due to a long day of meetings, because if you all know, she is now having a full-time job, because she has shared this with us anyway, that working in real estate is not as stable as most of us are expecting, unless you've already built your portfolio and you've been working hard for, how do you say that? You've built your confidence in selling houses, and you've got a big network already, and many other stuff. And if you want to know more about Marianne's life, she has shared it with us a couple of weeks ago already, I think halfway through. Anyway, this episode is going to be another exciting topic. Oof. And I'm really impacted by this one. That's why I'm really keen to share this with you. But disclaimer, I am a teacher. I am not a mortgage advisor, definitely not a financial advisor. I don't have any theoretical, never mind. I am simply sharing my experiences, and it's up to you whether that is similar to your situation, but I still would like to recommend you or to refer you to financial advisors, definitely, or to mortgage brokers, because when we talk about, our topic today is building a strong credit score. So it's all about credit score. And when I first heard this 10 years ago, I was like, what is this credit score? Back home, we are not aware of this one anyway. But here in New Zealand, it's very important. And credit score is, in Filipino, in Tagalog term, it's utang. Ang score mo sa pag-utang? Or in other words, how good are you in paying your debts? Actually, we'll dive deeper onto this one. Hopefully, I can give justice to this topic. And hopefully Marianne will be able to join me shortly. But first and foremost, of course, more than anything else, Marianne, we want you to come home safely. So drive safely, and hopefully you'll get there. You'll get home safely for your family too. Okie dokie. Right. If you've been watching us, following us, let us know in the comment section below. Whereabout are you? Actually, even if you're not in New Zealand, this might be useful to you. In other parts of the world, especially if they have similar system to New Zealand. In the Philippines, it's more on your integrity, actually. We don't really have a gauge to measure the credit score of a person, because it's just hard when you don't have the systematic way of gauging it. Because here in not in the Philippines, here in New Zealand, once you make a credit or you apply for a loan. So let's talk about loan, car loan, of course, home loan, because this is a home buying tips, personal loan, whatever you loan from the bank, and then you use it for your personal use. Say you want to buy a laptop or improve your what do you call this, cooling system in your house, or anything that you just want to improve, or even just to buy personal stuff, dress for a particular occasion, whatever. When we make a loan here, it's mostly to the bank or to other lending, to other lenders. So mainly the banks. Our one is with ANZ. We have Westpacs as well. I mean, banks here in New Zealand are Westpac. I'm just mainly with ANZ, Westpacs, BNZ, what else? Kiwi Bank, Cooperative Bank, so many. And when we're talking about lenders, other lenders, we have Q Card. I've got a Q Card, Gem Visa, Heartland Bank, and many others. If you search them up, if you want to take loans, you'll be able to see, well, maybe hundreds. I don't know. But if you talk to a mortgage broker, they can tell you more. But what I'm saying is, all of the loans that you're making here in New Zealand, except for the loan that you are uh, getting from a person who is not with any banks at all. So, like, you're borrowing money from a friend or from a stranger who would be happy to lend you money. Like, I was happy to lend money to someone, and then I didn't get my money back. So that was my fault. I don't want to discuss more about that one, but just sharing it with you. So that means there's the disadvantage if you're just lending money to someone without agreement, say for example. But if you refer them to banks or to lenders, then mm, be more on the safe side, and they will be more responsible to pay it, because the the banks or the lenders will be able to see their records, their history, in other words. So credit score is more on your history in borrowing money. Thank you so much that we have Marianne joining us right now, because sometimes I remember the word Marianne. Oh,
Hi
right.
everyone. Sorry I'm late.
You'll get it.
Okay.
Just
Yeah, so you're talking about ano ba yan? I forgot that my laptop at home is not touch screen. Okay.
at work it is. So we're talking about
Yay.
credit score, and I was telling them, because you know how we are not aware of this, or we don't actually have this back in the Philippines, right? And when you come here to New Zealand, kung gusto mong umutang, I would now refer any friend of mine or strangers
It
to
is.
go direct to the bank, because all of us here should have a bank, whether you're earning something or nothing. At least you need to have a bank. What's your say on this?
Actually, in terms of credit score, ate, I also got to know about that about like maybe 8 years ago, because when I was trying to kind of like, oh, what if like I can actually afford buying a house or something like that. And then I got to know about credit score, and then I opened one. So I think I'm using the there is an app that's called Clear Score. So that's what I use. And then what was funny is that there was someone also, this is quite beneficial. There was someone using my name,
Oh,
and yeah, so I got to know that there, like when I opened an account, there was some kind of like a credit, but it's not even under mine. Like I don't even have an account for that.
but
So
it's
it's
your name.
yes, and that I owe money. And it's not just me. I think there's one of my colleague as well at my current work that happened to him too. So there
Oh,
is someone using his name, and they owe like about 500 or $1,000 or something.
how is that even possible when you know you have to provide IDs to show that
Yeah.
this?
So
Uh,
I learned it like after I opened that account, I contacted the, this one, the clear score, which where I use, and then I just told them that I don't, that's not me, and they kind of double checked it and everything. They just blocked it. Some, I think lately with my colleague, when he told me, because he was applying for a mortgage as well, he told me, I think
proceed.
the police got involved as well. So I'm not sure if what happened, but I haven't really talked about him again after that. But he said that the police got involved because apparently, yeah, it was his identity theft or something.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Now
it
I'm
affected his credit score.
it is scary because when you're ready and you need money, you want to borrow money, and then all of a sudden you've got this credit score. Because when we're talking about credit scores, it actually range from
Yeah.
excellent to poor, or poor to excellent. And just recently, because I've come up with this idea, right, of talking about credit score, I've checked uh Illion, Illion, to check my
Mm-hmm.
credit score, because I know
Mm-hmm.
are using different apps, or what do you call this, websites or third party, to check
Mm-hmm.
someone's credit score. And we usually, when we sign up, oh no, I don't think I have mentioned, or the real estate agent mentioned this to me, but I think the mortgage broker, when we wanted our papers assessed, they
Mm-hmm.
would want our signature for them to check our credit score.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yes. So they will also, I haven't, I didn't have this conversation with Sanjeev before, but I would definitely ask him about it because like I just started like what do we call that, reaching out to Sanjeev because me and my husband wanted to see how much we can borrow as well so that we start keep the ball rolling. But apparently like when I was looking at the requirements, it doesn't include the credit score, but of course that
Ah,
may also affect because like it's so weird because why would my colleague who just recently applied for for a mortgage, he had to actually check on his credit score as well, and that's when he found out that someone's been using his name.
yeah, it's good to check on it. Yep, let's
Mm,
first talk about what is a credit score. So we've already given you a heads up of what this credit score is. And I'm just wondering, can you get a credit score if you don't have a loan at all?
I am not sure because you know how Ate when they were saying, I think we have to talk to a financial advisor about this, but what
Mm,
I always hear about, they were saying that it's better for you to have a credit card as well, so that it also
mm,
kind of like if you're like if you use like you at I know that you use your credit card for groceries and everything, but every time you get paid you pay it back again like so the bank can actually see, and the credit, it affects your credit score as well, that they can see how well you are paying and you're always on time regularly and everything like that, you're not in debt. So that kind of also is a positive way that you have a credit card because that's where it kind of starts showing. So I think with my credit score app, it shows my credit card for ASB, ANZ, and then I think that's the only thing up until I closed the other one. I used to have when I was a student a finance now because I bought a car through finance.
yes, yes. I
Yeah.
remember in 2015 when we bought a car through a loan. So it's a car loan.
Mm.
My husband has been here for 4 years. He wasn't taking any loans. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously his credit score, walang record, right? No
Yes.
history of credits. And we were told on our first l- car loan that it's a good start to build a good credit score, especially when
Yes.
you are paying your repayments on time. And we've also
Yes.
heard that it's not good if you pay it off so soon. So, in
Mm-hmm.
other words, we were supposed to have a contract agreement of 2 years to pay off the car. But then, like 2 months before it turned 2 years, as far as I can remember, we paid it off. And that impacted our credit score in a positive way because we've been, how we set up an automatic payment so we don't miss the payments at all. And we didn't pay it off so soon as well, so that the
Mm,
bank, I still remember it was Heartland Bank, so that they, banks are earning money from the interest that we're paying anyway. So if you
mm,
pay it too soon, it would be on the losing end. They will be losing money instead of earning if you
mm,
pay
mm,
continuously until you finish the contract. And so just 2 months before it the contract ended, and yep, that was a good start. And that was the very first loan that we had.
mm. In here, ate, in
Yeah,
New
yeah,
Zealand.
here in New Zealand. Because the first car that he bought was from a garage sale,
Mm.
1,500. And then
It's
we
cheap.
traded it to another car, to not so new. And yeah, we availed it through a car loan. And then that's the first time I've heard about credit scores. And I was like, so there's a good thing about, availing loans. And it's not always a bad debt, actually. Because,
Yeah.
how people are
Yeah.
thinking, it's a debt, it's not good. But yeah, there's a good thing about it.
Yes. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, it's your credibility to the lenders as well. So they can see your regularly paying, your kind of like your attitude towards your finances.
100%. So yeah.
Yes.
So to anyone who are new to New Zealand, I've been hearing a lot of people coming to New Zealand and recently moved here. Anong advice mo? Do they need to have a loan straight away? Because, like in our case, I didn't have a loan until 2 years, almost 2 years of my stay in New Zealand. And that's because we needed a car, not because it's
Car.
just a. What about you? What was your first loan?
It's a car as well, ate. So I think but it's been, so I moved here 2012. I only bought my car 2016 because
So
I
4 years.
was, yeah. So because I was a student, so I was a student for almost a year. So I finished and everything. I was staying in the city, so I only walked to my uni, and then I got my part-time job during that time, and it's the airport, and the city has a bus to the airport directly.
One ride only.
Yeah. So for the reason why I only bought my first car was when I got promoted to the sales managerial role. So it means that I will need to actually be driving sometimes to the office and then go back and everything. And it kind of like helps me with meeting some clients and stuff. So that's the only time that I bought my car. But to be very
Mm,
fair, I know a lot of our kabayans at it that are professionals here, and they prefer to stay in the city because they also work in the city and they don't need to buy a car because it's also
yeah,
very expensive for car park if you stay in the city.
we can probably talk about car lending next time, or anything about cars, because any spending that we make here in New Zealand affects our home buying ability. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's move on to the second one, the common mistakes to avoid. Yeah. And that can actually hurt our credit score. So, like what Marianne has said, it's your credibility. And
Mm.
that's why in our case we set up automatic payment. That includes, it's automatic anyway for our mortgage. It's automatic. Ano pa bang ibang automatic namin?
Oh, ate, and remember how it's also this is a mistake, and I know a lot of our kabayans, I never had this option, but remember how ASB and ANZ allows overdrafts?
Yeah, ANZ, they do. They do, and they will charge you a fee.
Yes. And also that affects your credit score as well.
So true. Ooh, somebody has messaged me a long time ago, a few months ago actually, about the draft. Because I've mentioned that in one of my posts, that you've got to be careful. Like, you know how you keep on swiping your cards without knowing that you don't have enough funds anymore?
Yes.
You go overdraft, and then you'd say, that's okay. It's just an overdraft. But then I think after a month, they will charge you a fee. depending on how much
Yes.
overdraft with. So be careful. We have experienced that as well. And I was like, oh no, even just $1, it's so
Yes.
much for me already. Because
I
you know, I
think
can.
one, I think with ANZ Ate, I got charged. This is my mistake as well. And I never knew it because I was a student. And I, like what you said, you keep on swiping and you don't have funds anymore. And then I remember even for $1 Ate, and then you don't pay that for a couple of, I don't know, like a month. That's
Mhm.
$5 fee for overdraft.
Oh, is it $5? I forgot my one because
Yeah.
I think it was 2 years ago, and I have been keeping an eye on our banks almost like every day. I'm checking our accounts, making sure that we won't go overdraft. That's why
Mm,
the credit card really saves me a lot. Saves me a lot
that's
of money
true.
when it comes to emergency because all our groceries and other expenses that I can use my card for, I use it there, and then the money that goes into the bank is just set to automatic payment for all the bills, because even your late payments for the water, the power,
Mm,
will all have an impact to your credit score.
yes.
And, and I just want to share my recent mistake as well last year. So here's the
Uh-huh.
story. You know how I bought a phone through Spark, and it is on plan with monthly
Subscription.
subscription. Yes. And I was like, oh, when is it going to finish? Because you know how I want to finish it so that I will go back to a different provider because I think the other provider is better. And there was a miscommunication between me and the agent, customer
Mhm.
representative. I was like, I was asking, when is my plan finishing? I mean, when? Because it's good for 2 years agreement to pay the phone. And
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe the customer representative didn't get my question, and she was saying that it's you can pay it off now, and then you're good to move to another
Oh.
provider. And so I did. But then a month later, here comes another bill. And I was like, I thought I've already paid it off. And so I was really insistent to say, oh no, this was a miscommunication from your part, da da da, and everything. And because I went back home, the communication wasn't good, the internet wasn't good. And of course, I was so mad at that time as
Say.
well of the many expenses back home because it was an emergency.
Yeah.
Then here comes another bills, and I insisted not to pay. I'm not going to pay it. It's your fault. I ask you, when is it gonna be finishing? So I'm gonna pay it off. And long story short, I didn't pay it. And then they
And then,
submitted my name to the collector, debt collector.
oh, yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness me, it was like, what is this? And there's another fee for that. Almost $50. So
Mhm.
my debt actually is just around 100 or 200, 100 I think. But because I was standing for, I think, my right, because I asked you in the beginning, and there was a record because I know they would record the conversation, right?
Mhm.
And yep, I still set it aside. I'm not going to pay it, even though I came back to New Zealand already. And then
Mhm.
we processed our papers again to apply for another mortgage. And Paula, remember, I submitted my our payments again, our documents again, updated our income and everything,
Mhm.
statements, and she saw it because she asked, "You will be giving us the right to check your credit score," and
Yeah.
she saw everything, and she was like, "What is this that you haven't settled with Spark yet?" And she
Oh
said,
my god.
"You need to settle it first before we can carry on." And so I did. Oh dear.
Oh.
So yeah.
And do you also know, Ate, that also traffic infringement also affects your credit score?
Oh, I didn't know that. I know I got
So,
speeding tickets, but not
yes.
traffic.
So traffic infringements, like, let's just say, it also, even it will affect you even if you're going out of the country if you owe something. to AT, Auckland Transport, or you owe something to the police.
Yeah, yeah,
They will see it on the system, and that's the thing about living in a first world country. Everything is on the system.
yeah. Oh, so you
You
mean to say
cannot
you
run away
have
with it.
infringements and you're trying to not pay it? You want
Yes.
to,
So
ah, yeah,
if you don't pay it, they will kind of question you if you leave the country, or they
yes,
will. It is in your record. So that's the reason why. So for our kababayans who just came, you just have to be very, very careful. Everything here is in the system, like you
yeah.
would like I remember it's so funny how the very first time I actually got a bus lane ticket in the
Oh, that's
traffic
good.
out there, because I drive to the bus lane.
Ah,
And the
yes.
funny thing is, and that's $150, ate.
Now,
So
sure.
I didn't want to pay for it. But the thing is, it's not under my name, because the car that I bought, I put it on Steven's name.
But that will still affect your credit score if you buy together. You know,
Yes.
you just
Steven's
have to.
like, why did I receive a ticket infringement from AT and the
Yes.
police? And then I'm like, what happened? And then I saw, and there was a photo of my car. And then Steven's like, I'm not the one driving that car on that day.
That's good that he admitted it. One more thing, by the way, another mistake that you can make is when you use up your credit limit. Say, for
Yes.
example, you have 7,000 credit limit in your credit card, and then you
Mm-hmm.
use it up to 6,500.
Yes.
I've used that one. And it can affect your credit score actually, because they'll be like, I don't know. What will the bank be thinking? Because in my case, I've just used it because I needed money. But as soon as I have money, I pay it off. Mm.
Yeah. I think with anything like that, I'd rather actually say, ate, to be very careful, and when in terms of your finances as well. Like I know I'm not the best person because I actually spend so much with a lot of things, but and I admit that, I don't want to lie, but I think that's the common mistake, because the thing is, in the Philippines, it's so easy to loan money.
Oh, is it?
Do you notice that, ate? In the Philippines, you kind of, yeah, like it's just so easy. Like buying a car, buying,
I
like
don't know.
everything is loan. And
I
the thing
haven't.
is, I have a very bad example. So I can be honest with you guys, with everyone who's watching right now. I came from a family that just, like, my mama loves to spend. Like, she's a splurge, and my papa never really questioned her. So pretty much my example growing up, oh, okay, it's okay to spend as long as you got a credit card. And that
Mm,
actually affects your kids as well, because it kind of like see, and that's
exactly.
why, yeah, and I want that to change, like, even though I spend so much, but I'm so thankful that my husband, has to control me.
That's we're opposite. My mom is so thrifty and she's not, she hates debts. But there are people who are borrowing money from her and she's the one collecting it. And then later on when she retired, she passed on those collections to me actually.
Oh.
I grew up not wanting or kind of scared, scared to make loans, to make debts, because my mom would
Mm.
always say, not good, not good. So I have it in mind that loans are not good. And I
Yeah.
just developed the knowledge of learning to use loan to my benefits, to my advantage. So I
Mm.
now learned that there are good debts and debts
Mm-hmm.
are not always bad. And because of the
Mm.
example of my mom, I grew up in the Philippines not making loans, but I borrow money from her. And yeah, I pay it off too. And I've become thrifty as well, just like her. But now learning
Yeah.
more to using that money to for investment.
Yes. Yeah, it
So
is the example at the right, like what we see when we are growing up. So we kind of just get that one.
that's true. Right.
Okay.
What else do we have? Have we already mentioned all the common mistakes to avoid? Yeah, I
I
mentioned.
want to know about this, Ate. Like I'm not really sure, but frequent credit application, is that credit cards?
Ah, yeah, if you have too many credit cards with up to how much?
Mm,
Because you know how the bank, they would actually see all your credit cards when you make your application for a mortgage, and then they will advise, okay, close this card, close this one, just have
mm-hmm,
one. It depends on the way you manage your finances, but basically,
mm-hmm,
I would say I'm really good at managing our credits, but
mm-hmm,
recently I have two credit cards. So I just would like to quickly share with you why I'm having the two credit cards now. But in the future, I'll be shutting down the other one. So at the moment, at first I've got Gem Visa because it's good for 6 months. And
mm-hmm.
now I've applied for Q card because when I applied for an increase for my Gem Visa, they didn't approve. And I was like, hey, I'm a good payer. Why are you not approving it when I'm using the money for investment? And it's not just shopping. Because they
Uh-huh.
should they should have seen my records. And so I've applied for this Q card, which is free, no fee
Interest
for,
for 18 months.
yes. Is that for 18 months? I've seen the 12 months. So maybe they have a new promo now. So it's like, yeah, why don't I use this one? Because I needed the money straight away for my sleep out. And so, yeah,
Mm,
I applied for the credit for Q card, approved straight
mhm.
away, and it's 12,000. I only needed 5,000 actually. And so I've kept the 12,000, just leaving it there. I've used up 2,000 at the moment, paying it off soon. And then I'm planning to either close Q card or Gem Visa. But there are pros
Mhm.
and cons. Gem Visa is you need to spend at least 250 so that you can pay it off within 6 months. That's a good
Mm,
visa. For Q card, it's 3 months, but whatever,
mhm,
or how much would be your spending, it doesn't matter. Whether $50 or less, it doesn't matter, but you have
mm.
to pay it off for 3 months. So yeah, I'm torn between two credit cards. But anyway, Q card, I don't have to pay any fee, so I'm just using it.
Yes,
How you just need to learn how to use these
to kind
things.
of manage.
Yeah, it still depends on your discipline. Okay, moving on to the third one. Tips. I'll just type it down and how to maintain. Yeah, do you have any idea
Strong.
on? So, what was
I think like ano po?
your your second loan? So, your first loan was car. Your second loan, if you can
Yes.
remember.
So that was when I was single. So that's 2016. I bought that little Fit Honda Fit, and that was like
Yes.
$4,000. And then that was my first one, paid it off. And then when I got married, when I gave birth to Celestine, I needed a bigger car. So that's when I bought
Mm,
the CRV, the bigger car. And that's the second loan that I have. So I never really have much loans at it. But what's funny is that Steven only learned how to use credit card when he started dating me.
oh, oh dear. Why are you that expensive? just kidding. Feel
He
like that.
doesn't have a credit card. Like even his brothers doesn't have credit card. So they're
Yeah, yeah,
that kind of people. Like they don't really like using it because they have enough money. They wouldn't spend
yeah.
much anyway. And then I just like opened up to him and said like, you know that when you travel, you kind of need credit card and you like traveling.
Mm,
So you need that. And the thing is like when you buy your tickets as well for credit using your credit card, you will have insurance.
mm,
So right at this. So that's there's pros and cons, but as what you said, this section number 3 is actually the maintaining strong credit is like what you've actually mentioned already earlier, that as long as you know how to manage like what you do, that the credit score actually isn't your enemy. It's actually your friend to show
mm,
lenders that you are credible to
yeah,
be to be lent the money for. Yeah.
100%. So talking about credit, like what we said, it's not bad so long as you know how to manage it, like what you said.
Yes.
And yours. Oh, I know I have something that I was about to say while you were talking, and then I forgot it. I should have taken notes anyway. Sorry about that. But what else? What else can we? What other strategy can we have to?
remember remember Ate, when we have one of our guests, the our one of our favorite guests, our financial advisor who had the ticks,
Yes, I
and
was saying.
she
Yeah,
mentioned this.
is that Rex?
Yes,
Yeah.
so she mentioned this. She actually mentioned of like doing a percentage of how much income you do, when you how much income you receive, and kind of getting those percentages to actually making sure that you manage it to be paying off what you need to pay. So like let's say what she said is like, say 50% of everything you need, all the essentials,
Yeah.
50% of your income should be going to your essentials. And the rest will be 20% to this, 20% to this, and then 10% to like, I don't know, maybe your lifestyle, your shopping or
Mm,
anything. And that's the thing. Like I think another point for there is that just spend what you can afford to pay off.
true.
So right at
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I remember now what I'm about. Now I
To
forgot.
say.
Credit check. Always check your credit. That's why I'm always anxious about my accounts. And it's good for me that all my accounts are in one app. So it's mostly with
Yes.
A. And then the other two cards, of course, I've got separate apps for them because they are different. And I am a bit anxious, let's just say it. So instead of browsing on social media, I would browse on our account, checking on when is it due, and I would set my alarms
Wow.
to help me remember that I have to pay this. Oh no, lucky I've mentioned it. Rack gas, I need to pay this today. Because one thing I also do when I have debts, if I have money and I don't have to pay my debt yet, I put it in my savings so it can earn some interest. And then
Yes.
when I'm due to pay whatever bills I have, I will take it out and pay it. In other words, even if it's just a single cent that I'm gaining as interest in my savings, at least I'm using my money and don't struggle to pay my debt straight away.
Mm.
So
Yes, that's true.
I'm trying to share that to my husband and convincing him that this is how I rotate, kind of revolve the money around.
Mm.
And that's why I'm telling him, when you go for a grocery, use the credit card. Don't use our, the Freedom, the Go one, because that
Yes.
is meant to be for the other expenses that has been set up automatically, like the direct
Mm.
debit for our bills, for our water, power, internet. I set up
Mm.
automatic so I don't miss out those payments. But for our rack gas, the bottle, because it's whenever we purchase it, that's when I still use no, I don't use my credit card for that one. I use my bank, my own money anyway to transfer. And so
Mm.
you just need to learn how to revolve the money around, and at the same time you
Yes.
can even earn a little bit of interest. Because if your bill is due at the end of the month and you've got this money, why don't you put it in your savings where you can get a little bit of money, a little bit of interest,
Mm.
because you know how they pay you interest, it's per day.
Ye- Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And then pay, just make sure to pay off your bills before it's due
The
or on the
third.
day it's due, so
Yes.
you don't miss and you won't get a fine. What do you think?
Yes. I think I'm kind of like that, Ate. So me and Steven have our own separate account. So where his salary comes and my where my salary comes. And then we have a go, which is that's pretty much for everyday usage. So we transfer
Mm,
money there for some expenses. And then we have the serious saver, which is that's ours for our the one that we don't touch, because if you touch it, then they won't give you the interest for the month. And then we have the bills where everything gets deducted. So
mm,
school fees, And then what else? Groceries. That's where, so we, Steven, as much as possible, he's a different one. He doesn't really want to use credit card on grocery. So what he does is that he puts a little bit aside to the go,
Yeah,
where the
yeah.
grocery comes from. So we have that joint account where all the expenses gets automatically deducted. So me, I have also an automatic deduction every time I receive my salary. Then it goes directly to that goal where Celestine School and Orion School comes, and then also my insurances. So like my life insurance and everything like that. But lately I have to also add, I think I will need to open a full family health insurance.
Mm, that's a
Mm.
too. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a I mean, that's one thing that I really appreciate with here in New Zealand, because when you can even have two banks. You know, my husband
Mm.
has B and Z and A and Z, and under each bank you can have separate accounts for your holiday,
Mm.
for your personal use, for your
Yeah.
savings, emergency. You can have as many accounts as you like, and you name it
Yeah.
however you like. You can even have business accounts if you have a
Yes.
business, so it's more organized, and for me it's very helpful
Yeah.
to help other people learn
Manage.
to manage their finances. Back in
That's
the
so true.
Philippines, how is it in the Philippines? Do you still have a bank there?
I think Ate Nina, so I have, yes, Ate, because remember how I also have my own life insurance in the Philippines. So
Oh,
whatever happens to me if I'm in the Philippines, my family can still get money out of, in the Philippines. So yes, I do have travel insurances when I travel, but whatever happens to me if I am in the Philippines, Steven, remember that life insurance I told you about ate of AIA Vitality, which is BPI is the main bank partner for AIA. AIA is global, so there's AIA here in New Zealand as well.
I
But
am
I
with
have,
AIA.
yeah, so I got an AIA Vitality in the Philippines because that one is kind of like a investment insurance. So it's kind of like after 6 years I kind of get some money back from the money that I keep on giving.
Oh,
So
that
I
sounds.
get 50, yeah, 50,000 pesos every 2 years.
Oh, that's good.
Mm.
It's like
So
an
it's an
investment.
insurance. Yes, investment insurance. It's almost like Kiwi Saver at it because like in Kiwi Saver, right? Like you keep on putting money on Kiwi Saver, and by the time that when you retire, you can kind of use your Kiwi Saver. That insurance that I got in the Philippines is life insurance, but if I don't use it as life insurance, it can kind of I can still use it for my money as a retirement.
Ah, okay. That sounds.
Mm.
Mm. We'll probably discuss more about that one because I've got a
Yeah.
lot of questions in mind already. Anyway, that's pretty much it. The three basic things that we would like to cover for now about credit score. We've discussed about what credit score is. So once you're here
Mm.
in New Zealand, you already have your credit score, whether you have loans or not. So it's just up to your status now. It can be poor or it can be excellent. And just to reveal, my credit score right now is good. Just good. Not excellent, even though.
It's actually like ate, like how do you say what is actually good?
Oh, the good
I'm
one.
just a little bit above the half the price.
Oh,
So I can actually I can reveal it to you guys. My credit score is 636. Is it
oh, so you
true?
don't know if you're good or not?
What they say, so what, let's see the health.
Because I have
Um
signed up to Alien and they've checked my credit score and gave me a report and they said my credit score is good. Let me go back. I've just nah. It will ask again for another details. Um, nah, I forgot. Yeah, but I think it's somewhere halfway. If your credit score
mm,
is higher, the higher the number, the better is your credit score. So if you are
mm-hmm.
in the middle, then that's probably good. same as my one. Despite having a dispute with Spark before, which I was still able to pay anyway. And by the way, recently, even though I have paid it when I had my recent assessment, financial assessment with Josie for the mortgage that we're planning to have, the bank was still able to see it, and they were asking what happened. And so I have to explain it again. So even though I have settled that, they still see the history. And if they're not
Mm.
what's happening, they would question you, but not necessarily question you and deny your application, but it's more on clarification. That's my recent experience. And of course, the second thing that we've just quickly discussed is the common mistakes to avoid, which is settling your payments as soon as you can. Setting up automatic
Mm.
helps you as well. And the last one is the tips to build and maintain a strong credit core. It's still somewhat the same, where you just need to pay it on time, not late.
Mm.
You ever missed it, that's fine, as so long as you don't miss it again.
Yes. And no overdraft, guys, because it's
Oh
almost like
yes.
you're having another credit card, but it's not really good. It's not credit card. So it doesn't have, I don't know, like they say that overdraft is not as good, not as beneficial as a credit card.
No, no. I would rather suggest you to have a credit card with A and Z that
Mm.
is zero fee, uh, zero yearly annual fee, no annual fee at all. That's what we're using, the low rate.
Also, that's
Yeah,
the light low rate. Yes, low
yeah,
rate.
lower rate, and use it for your expenses. If you think you don't have money anymore, but you need to buy things, yeah, you
Mm.
better have that one. But I would still say if you don't need a thing, don't buy it. Have a thousand
Yes.
thoughts about it. Yeah.
That's so true.
Any last words? I think you guys have a lot of things, have learned a lot of things from us tonight about credits. Wag utang ng
Yes, credit.
utang.
I know it's very hard, especially when you are in here because everything is all recorded.
Yeah, that's right. And sometimes you feel like, ooh, it's affordable. You know, when you
Mm.
receive your payment at the end of the week, especially with all the sales and promos that they're having, 60% off at Briscoe's. Hello, when I moved here, it's been like that already. And my first thought is like, wow, to my husband, it's 60% off, let's buy it. And he was like, I've been here for 3 years and it's been like that. And I'm telling you guys, I've been here for 10 years, it's been like that.
Always
60,
like that.
yeah, 60 to 80%, and it seems so alluring and
Although,
nice.
ate, so they usually have the highest sales, like my cousins who are moving here, so they're migrating this month. The husband's already been here, but yeah, they're migrating, and they needed to get a lot of stuff. And I
Mm,
told them that to get it on the highest amount of sale, because sometimes, like, especially like the things that are really needed, like duvets, bed
yeah,
sheet, those ones are good because it's an investment. You will use it for so long, so many
yeah,
time, so, but things that you don't really need, like, although that those are the ones that you tempts you to buy.
mm.
Yeah, very,
Careful with
think
that.
about it 100 times.
Yeah, basic things. Like I would say, especially at Briscoe's, their qualities are really good. But
Mm,
if you don't need it, like you want to buy a bread maker, say for example, ooh,
yeah.
sounds so affordable. But I seldom, I don't even cook. What will I use it for? So there's no need. Once you don't need it, don't buy it. But if you want to give it to someone, that's fine. It's up to you. It's your choice. And that's
Okay.
for tonight. I hope you enjoyed our topic. You've learned a lot and take action. Check your credits now, check your bank accounts so that you clear it up and then you're ready to buy your home soon. And
Yes, thank you, ate. I'm so sorry, guys, if I'm late. I have
oh,
to
you're
drive
good.
back.
You're able to catch up on time anyway. And we've got a event on the 23rd. Is
17. What are
what
your
is
17th? I know.
that's already finished. This Saturday.
Oh,
Banyuhay.
yes.
I'm not mistaken. Banyuhay, celebration of Family Day, Filipino Family Day. It's gonna be at Barfoot and Thompson Stadium, somewhere
Mm.
in the east. I haven't been there yet, but I'll be there promoting Grow Yourself and to on online academy for those parents who are just settling in New Zealand, wanting to know more about the New Zealand curriculum, New Zealand education system, and also anything under the sun, as what we've been discussing. We have different topics here in the Grow Yourself in New Zealand Facebook page and YouTube channel. And next week, we're going to have a different topic. And of course, there are more events coming up because it's Christmas soon. There are many events sponsored by Filipino communities. So hopefully, you will support, you'll come and enjoy the food and the different activities, especially the upcoming Filipino Teachers Christmas party on the 1st of December. Uy, may Christmas party daw tayo, Manorewa.
Really, on the Facebook page po,
Yeah, a lot of
kabayan.
people, a few more are voting for Auckland Botanic Garden. So
Oh, oh.
if you're
And
free,
has there been a day set po or
yes. Ano nga pang nalagay ko doon? I think
kabayan?
16. That's gonna be a few days before we
Yes.
leave. Friday,
Oh,
Friday the
yes.
13th is another option, just to cater to those who are working on Sun. Oh no, there's no one working on Sunday because I have an event on that Saturday. But anyway, just have a look on Facebook on Kabayan sa
Oh,
Manarewa
yes. So
and
I
comment
think
there.
15th December is winning 55%.
Ah, half
Ganda
parang
po.
ang dami rin
Oh.
ata kasi Sunday eh. But I was asking for suggestions to others if they want to do it on Saturday, but I'm just not available. So I'm totally fine. I'll pop in if I can, but I won't be staying.
Yeah.
Mm. But nobody's suggesting. So if you are watching us and you're
Thank
from
you.
Manorewa, Kabayan sa Manorewa, and you've seen our post of the Christmas party sa Kabayan sa Manorewa, para naman magkita-kita po
Mm.
tayo. Kasi marami na ring bago.
Yes. And alam kong saan kayo pupunta if need help.
Yeah. Parang nabubulol ka na rin mo if you're going to talk in Filipino.
I know.
It sounds like.
Bulol-bulol.
Anyway, thank you
Thank
so much, everyone, for joining us and for learning from us. And looking forward to see you again next week, episode 57. Abangan po ang next na topic na pag-iisipan pa po namin.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.